When's the first time you heard of Black History Month?
I mean, I always known it, right? Because like I grew up in a black household, like I had black parents, so I mean, Black History Month was always something like important to us, and just like being in the Philly area, because you have MLK Day like right at the end of the month, and then it's right at the end of January, and then you go right into Black History Month, and people like my parents at least first like exposed me to Black history through like their parents, because they were fortunate enough to obviously have like humble upbringings, but eventually get themselves into higher education and working in the government and education, and being the first XYZ in a lot of their spaces. So that's how it was. It was really cool, because not every black kid at least gets to have that experience where they learn about people like within their own bloodline that actually did very incredible things, and foundational things, in their own spaces, and were trailblazers. But over time, I went to a typical like East Coast prep school, and it was predominantly white. So we, quite frankly, didn't learn a lot of Black history like in the classroom, which I obviously I didn't really realize it like in the moment. Like you're not 10 years old, 11 years old, like thinking about it. And especially because I had it like at home, like my parents kept me educated like all the time. That was just like, it was a part of like who I was. But over time, as you get older, like it starts to show.
Yeah, of course.
Like in other people and like the people that you're around. And it's like, damn, like we really don't learn about any black people straight up.
Yeah.
And so Black History Month means a lot, and I've fortunately, I guess, for better or for worse, have been put in a position to where, my career in a predominantly white sport is seen as Black history, and in the swim space, Black History Month, I'm called on to do a lot of things, and in the sport of swimming, I probably will be in Black history, right? So it's a very important month to me, that people feel the need to obviously educate themselves on what the people have done and where things originate, right? But at the same time, like I said before, like there are so many people doing beautiful things like right in front of us that will never be known. And we can't lose those people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You mentioned that this has been a norm in your household for as long as you can remember. You've also mentioned right now that you are making history yourself, which, I mean, for those that may not know Reese, it's not him being cocky. It's just straight up what it is. Like it's just facts, But and you also mentioned that there are people in front of us making history in the present.
Yeah.
How do we celebrate Black History Month, and how can we celebrate these people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I if I had the answers, like I would not be here. You know what I mean? But I think we can just like read.
Okay.
Right. And it's hard because we're like busy college kids, or at least you and I are. So it's hard. But nobody said change like would be easy. Like they've never said change was gonna be easy. And it takes commitment, and that's where real change happens, is like if you're willing like to commit to sitting down and say, Fernando wants to sit down and say, oh, I want to learn more. It's like, well, how do you learn more? You go into the media and you read about it, and you maybe have to go into a history book or two to see where you get the base from, right? And then it just becomes like over time, if you are committed and if you are interested in Black excellence, it's something that will be a part of just your conscience, because we're all accustomed to things that we're interested in and that we enjoy. Like I could chat to you about swimming forever, because it's part of what I do. Or, you know, sitting down and reading the Wall Street Journal is like something that I try to do on a frequent basis. And being ingrained in Black culture and Black media is something that people can very easily do nowadays if they're willing to commit to it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are smart enough to do with that what they can. But I would say just like reading and just like having an open mind.
Yeah, the open mind and being willing to learn is super important. I think that something that I say frequently is that, to me, the solutions to the grand majority of the world's problems are fixed with a proper education.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it really is. It sounds super simple. I just said it in one sentence. It doesn't work that way.
It's definitely not just one sentence.
Yeah, but